So we're going to talk about, got to bend down, got to talk about fitting the valve guide. So I've got my valve guide fitting tool. It's just this mushroomy end which sits in the valve seat, and then some slider bits that pull down. So this goes in here. The valve seat, which I've got in my pocket, of course I've prepared it, and it's still in the bag, so we can get one out. That's where I drop it. Nice new valve seat, goes on there. Ooh, that's a bit close. Well, they would go on. Oh man, really? You're kidding me. No, they do, they'll go on. Just need to persuade them a little bit. There we go. That's better. So they go in there, and then the collars that I have go on there and there with a nut. And of course you can't see any of this. Tighten that up, and it pushes them in to the head. The beautiful thing about that is, one, you get to drop it all on the floor, you also get to clamp your head in a vise, and you also get to do it when it's exceedingly hot. So I am going to put the head on the grill for a good 15 minutes, and then let me just pull this off so you can see what it looks like. So that seat's in the back there, and then that's how the valve seat gets pulled in, and wind that up. There's an Allen key goes on there. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to warm the head up first. So a little tipette, I don't know if anybody noticed in the previous little clip, I couldn't get the valve seat. The valve guide came down and then stopped there because this bit was too big. So I've cunningly put the threaded rod in the drill and held it against my grinding wheel and just moved it backwards and forwards to take some metal off, and then smoothed it off. So now that the valve guides go down to the bottom, so now as the head is warming up, these easily slide down. This is the other one. So we should be good. Just wanted to point that out. Right, I'm off to get the head. It's going to be really hot, so I'm going to come in, I'm going to slap it down, hopefully somewhere around here. Guide, oh sorry, valve seat, guide the other end, that stuff, and try and put that on. You should see stuff going on here, hopefully. Am I doing that? I think I'm going that way, like that. We put you through there like that. We put you on there like that. Oh, you're hot. You there. Put you. Yep, very hot. You there. Oh, I smell of burning leather. You there. And then should be able to pull it in. Come on, you bugger. And it's still a go, and I can't bloody get it tight. That's go back in for a reheat. Just see if I can get better purchase. I know all the time it's cooling down, the valve seat's getting hot, so. Come on, baby. Bit more. I think. And that's it. Right, that's one. Bloody hell, that's on. Ooh, red hearts. There we go, that works. So, that's in there. Inlet. Right, we'll do the exhaust next. Hurrah! Right. I don't mind bending down. I could pick the camera up and make it easier, but you know, where would the fun in that be? Here is an oil filter mounting template. This is the piece of metal I've got to cut to mount the oil filter, weld it to the bottom of the battery tray so it sits in the right place, so it sticks just proud of the frame, and screw on off the filter. So I've done that while the head's warming up for the second valve guide. I'm not going to record the second valve guide because you don't need to hear me grunting and noising, so we'll see after I've done. Inlet, exhaust, both valve guides in. Bit of a wrestle again, trying to get the last couple of mils in as the bronze tightens up. The brass expands as well. You got to be really quick to try. Got to be really quick to try and get them in there, and I took a bit of time. So anyway, they're in. Pretty sure they're not coming out, so that's good. And let's get it hot again. Anyway, I'm gonna let everything cool down. I've got a hone. Let me get the hone. Got a hone, which is a carbide spiral brush. Douse it with oil in the end of an electric drill, in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. Try the valve, in and out, in and out. Try the valve. Try to get the right clearance. I'll see what the forums say, and there's also valve guide seats of valve stem seals, valve guide seats, valve stem seals to go on this, and I don't know whether that's a good idea or not. So I'll ask the BSA 25 Starfire forum of their opinions, and then make my own mind up. Welcome to the garage on a Friday. What are we up to? It's a beautiful sunny day. Really, I should be out on one of the bikes, but playing with the BSA again. So what have I done? Well, I've done another mock-up of the exhaust. This time it's a little bit more permanent. It's got the head on. You'll notice the mud guard's off. Also the battery box is gone, so I'm going to weld on them and make the bracket to put the oil filter there. When I was just couldn't resist putting the pipe on, I've had to. Then we can see the twist on the exhaust bracket there. There's a little bit of a twist on that. Had to persuade it in. It's now nice. It sits quite high up above everything. Got to make sure it doesn't interfere with the clutch. It may have to come up just a little bit, which I can do. I can do that with the bracket that I make there. So what I'm going to do is probably do a little wrap round that comes around and then just run a bead of weld down there, so it's nicely secure. It'll look quite nice then as well. This the reinforcement washers need welding onto this, but the positioning and everything is now just about perfect, which makes me really happy. Nearly happy enough to own up to saying that I may have put the wrong valve guide in the exhaust. I think I've got 2 inlet valve guides. So that's a bit of a cock up on my part. I've ordered an exhaust valve guide anyway, just to check, and if they're the same length, that one's staying in, and if they're a different length and the exhaust one is longer, then I'll put the exhaust, take that one out and put the exhaust one in. And it was a pain in the ass to get in, but it's going to be a pain in the ass to get out and get the new one in. So that could be some something to do. Anyway, that's what I'm up to today. I'm also thinking there was a plate here to hold the silencer. You can see the mounting holes there. That's probably never going to go back on. I do need to clean it up a little bit. I've got to attach the speedo, probably another cable tie there. I do need to get the rear wheel out because the brake on the other side is a bit dodgy. It doesn't spring back enough, and I should really check out the shoes and everything, so that's going to come out. And I was thinking about modifying the chain guard. Put some, and I don't know whether I should, because I'm ruining stock stuff and you can't find these very easily. Although I haven't said that, there's quite a lot of them on eBay and whatever at the moment. Anyway, this is where I am. This is as far as I've got this morning. I plan to get this thing welded on. I would like to get the oil filter in place. I'll put the bottom mount bolt for the oil tank through the rubber. That was a bit of a pain winding. What I'd love to do is get the oil tank on, do some of the hoses, like the feed and the return, and then the head one feeds the rockers, and then I could at least put some oil in it and run it around and get oil flowing through, which would make me feel a lot happier. But I do need to get the mudguard back on. So I'm going to cut away. Where's the mudguard? Here is the mudguard. It should have on this side. You can just see the blue marker pen. I'll follow that, cut it all the way up and round, and then put this back on. I'll clean it up a little bit, but I don't want to do too much to it because I plan to keep it like it is, mostly. Anyway, let's just plonk you down. That's that for now. There we go, careful. So that's it. Alrighty, so let's see. Done a few things. Here's the battery box thing, standoff thing. The battery box. Here is a little bracket that the oil filter housing is going to attach to. This will weld on here like this, and that will mount the oil filter housing for me. I spent a bit of time doing this and fiddling around with things just to get things right. And then on the rear mudguard that I haven't put back in, I have cut out a big section for the exhaust pipe. I've trialed, fitted it on. Haven't put it back on yet, so I've got to get the rear wheel out and fix the rear brake plate, but I'm not really excited about that because it means taking the chain off again. I really don't feel like it, but I will do that. So now I'm going to set myself up, weld this up. There's a couple of more things that I would like to is there something else I want to weld? I think there's some other things I need to weld, but anyway, I'll do a bit of welding. And then we'll have a look at the results. And I can paint this guy, or at least paint the bits I've welded. I'll probably paint over the old grease and grime for authenticity, just like the previous owner. And then back wheel out, fix the rear brake plate, put that back in. I've sort of half made an outer for the clutch cable. I want to try and figure out the correct routing for that. I want to put the primary on. Put the primary case on. Had to play around one of the threads. That wasn't quite right, so I've done that. That's it. Alrighty, so I've welded the bracket on. Here it is. Not exactly the prettiest welding, but I had trouble getting an earth on the rusty bits. So there it is. It's right there. It's got so high it's actually blued the bracket, which is nice. So that will go. Yeah, I said it was hot, so while I'm trying to pick it up, I don't know, but I'm going to, just to show you where it will go. So it will go roughly, if I line the holes up, something like that, and the bracket of the filter mount under there. Of course, the oil tank is there. So it should be, I was pointing with the tripod piece. That is really warm. I'm going to let go of it. There we go. So I'm going to let that cool down, give it a quick coat of satin black because I've got a lot. And that'll be that. And then it will be time to get the rear wheel off, which, as I've said before, I'm not really excited about, but I'm going to have to suck it up and do it. Anyway, there we go. Okay, so got the rear wheel off. This is actually one of those BSA crinkle hubs. So there's a spline there. This is the chain wheel and the brake together, so you can, and the bearings are really nice in it, which is great. You can actually put or you can take the rear wheel out without disengaging the chain if everything is in really good condition. but it isn't, so I had to kind of pull it all off. It's just not been cleaned up at all or lubricated regularly, that's all. So it just needs a bit of a clean up, which I've done. I've actually already done the brake plate, which I'll just put that down now. Moves. Didn't do that before. Well, it did. It went like that and then it stayed there, so that springs back, which is great. The sad thing is, judging by the colour, these have got oil contamination on them, and knowing that the brakes on these things aren't that great at the best of times, I would, or I am, going to replace them. I'm going to put new shoes, and I haven't ordered any, so I need to go and make a little bit of an order, and see if I can get new ones of these. And I think they have the BSA part number on them, which is really useful. So I'm going to go and order a pair of these. Then I'm going to clean that up, spray paint this guy, and then offer. Well, I'm waiting for the rubbers for that, so I'll try and clean up the rest of the rear wheel and try and put back what I can. Well, actually there's nothing because I need the brake shoes, so I can't put that back. So maybe go for a ride in my Bonneville. All right, missed all the soldering, but it's not, well, I can show you. I'm old school. I use one of these. This is a big old soldering iron. Heat it with a blow lamp pointing at the tip. Wait till it goes beautiful copper colour, ironically. Then you know it's warm enough, hold it against the item, and it induces heat slowly in a controlled manner that doesn't destroy the cable or ruin the temper of the steel, which is what's going to happen if you blow a blow lamp on it. So I'm waving this about and it's still very hot, and I put it down like 10 minutes ago. So carburetor nipple, carburetor jet nipple. Did remember to put the step thing on, whatever you call that, a sleeve bit on the other end, and 10mm barrel nipple. Clutch cable is finished. All right, I'm clearly not quite thinking because I made a little bit of a faux pas. What's not here that is here? Yeah, I forgot to put the rubber thing on. So after calling myself a few things, I do have a finished clutch cable, which seems to work. Which is nice. Yeah, I can see how that goes. That seems to be good, but I'll I think if I get the, I don't know why I'm doing that, I think if I get the rubbery thing hot in boiling water, I can pull it over that end and then pull it up and it'll be fine. So that's what I'm going to do, and seal it clearly as I'm making a bit of a cock up of things. That's going to be it for today. So what will I get up to next time? Who knows?